among the pages of time, there come incidents so bleak, so chilled to the core, that they serve as a constant reminder of humanity's capacity for cruelty. Today, we uncover one such moment. It was 1531, and an ordinary man, Richard Roose, would suffer one of the most horrific fates ever recorded in English history. His death left an indelible mark, not just because of its brutality, but because of the terror it inflicted upon society. What could one man have done to him to merit such inhumane, cruel punishment? And why does this event find resonance even today? Join us as we unravel the gruesome story of Richard Roose and the psychological underpinnings of one of the most terrifying forms of execution ever devised, being boiled alive. Richard Roose was a humble cook, living and working through the reign of King Henry VIII, a time of phenomenal change, politically and socially. But the story of Roose is not one of power or politics. Rather, it is a tale of betrayal, injustice, and unbelievable cruelty. Roose served in the household of John Fisher, the Bishop of Rochester. His life might have slipped quietly into history, as the lives of so many people did in those days, had it not been for the terrible accusation that changed all. Roose was accused of poisoning on purpose a pot of porridge prepared for the bishop. Several people who had eaten the porridge were taken violently ill. 2 of them would never recover. But was Roose guilty? Or did he happen to be an unhappy scapegoat caught in the dangerous web of deceit? Never to know, perhaps. But what followed next became one of the most brutal punishments ever recorded in England. In the 16th century, poisoning was considered one of the most treacherous crimes because it was a silent killer that could not be seen. The infamous King Henry VIII, wielding his ruthless authority, wished to make this clear to all his people. The crime was such a heinous act, it literally scared people. A new law was swiftly passed through Parliament to deal with the crime. Yes, you heard it right, boiled alive. Such was a death so horrific, it was meant to appall and terrorize any witnesses. On that day in 1531, Roose was taken to Smithfield Market in London, where a large cauldron of boiling water awaited him. Crowds gathered to watch as Roose was plunged into the seething water. His body twisted and writhed in agony as he was slowly cooked alive in a way intended to cause immense pain. It was not merely an execution, but a show and terrorism-engendering spectacle to reaffirm the absolute authority of the crown and to make anyone think twice before committing such a crime. But the horror of Richard Roose's execution did not stop with his death. The psychosocial effects of such a gruesome punishment kept reverberating in English society for years. To have witnessed such a spectacle, or even to have heard about it, was traumatic. Boiling alive was grotesque even to medieval minds, extreme, unbearable. The punishment was rarely used again in England. The people who lived through that day remembered it. The execution of Richard Roose was little to do with punishment for a crime, but it had everything to do with population control based on fear. It was a grim reminder that the power of the crown was absolute, and any form of defiance would result in unspeakable horrors. The case of Richard Roose was one of the darkest moments in the annals of justice, where fear and cruelty were operative tools. Yet, as we reflect on this incident, we also consider how far we have come. History not only instructs us about the outrages humanity has inflicted on itself, but also about compassion, mercy, and human dignity. And the capacity of humanity, even in those bleakest moments, is to grow and learn and become better. So let this be a story not of horror but of hope, a reminder that even from the deepest cruelty we can find the power to change and build a brighter, more compassionate future. Thank you for watching. History is not about what happened. It's about the lessons we carry away with us. Share this story, and let's keep these lessons alive. We are all in this together, and it is such shared humanity that will go a long way in shaping a better, more empathetic future.